presents School is Now in Session.
Welcome to Homeschooled Podcast.
Homeschooled.
The Homeschooled Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
It's time to document the journey. Welcome back to Homeschooled Podcast. I'm Augustino Zoya. Listen, guys, I appreciate you hanging in there. This is the first time. This is episode like 400 and something, and this is the first time in like 3 years that I haven't released an episode in 1 week. Like, I was consistently releasing an episode, and this is the 1 week that I didn't do it. So thank you guys for. Hopefully, I didn't lose half my listeners in that 1 week. But you know what? It was a rough week for me. I had to go to a funeral. I had this whole fucking vacation, second honeymoon type thing planned for my wife and I, and then the funeral crashed on that. So I squeezed both in at once, and there was just no podcast last week. So thank you guys for your patience, and thank you for continuing to support the show. I got a lot of great people that reached out to me and showed support and sent me a lot of love off that last episode. So thank you guys. And really quickly, a couple of announcements. I'm not doing much for the rest of the year. I had a great tour this year in 2021. Since February, I've been traveling consistently. It was wonderful. We sold out. If you have a 60 theater, I'll sell it out. All right, I'm captain 60 seater. All right, wherever you go, like I sold out my 60 seaters the whole year. It was fucking a lot of fun, and I'm laying low. I have one more gig in Lincoln, Nebraska. So if you guys, the Only Love Can Save the World tour is still going. Lincoln, Nebraska, October 8th. Come on out. Tickets are at homeschoolpod.com. The more people you bring, the more discounts you get on your tickets. So please come out and support. And then besides that, I got nothing in the books besides some local spots. I'm trying to work on new shit, and then I want to do a big New Year's Eve show, and we'll see where that's going to be. But right now, Lincoln, Nebraska is all I got for you. You can also support the show by going to homeschoolpod.com, clicking on tour for tickets, or clicking on merch to get a t-shirt, including the new Only Love Can Save the World t-shirt named after my tour. And that's it for now. I want to welcome to the show two dudes that I've worked with for many, many years now. You guys are solid individuals. I'm happy to have them both on the show. Marvin, I think I've had you on the show, haven't I?
Nope.
I've never had you on the show? I thought for sure I had Marvin by himself on the show before. Okay. All right, so please help me welcome, for the first time ever, Marvin Telp and Chris Kane to the show. Thank you guys for being here. Two dudes that are just great individuals, good comics, good people, and I've had the pleasure of sharing a few stages with you guys like this last week. Chris, thank you for having me on your show. Chris runs a marvelous show in Tarzana.
Yep.
Friday Funnies.
Yep, it's on the shirt, baby. I'm rocking the merch.
There you go. Is it every Friday?
It's the last Friday of the month.
Last Friday of every month. It's in Tarzana. It's at a hookah lounge, which I fucking love hookah. So, I mean, you saw me. I was out there on the patio smoking hookah while you guys were doing your thing.
Right now.
I got a hookah in my house that I smoked last night.
Oh, shit. Okay. It makes sense then. Because when Augustino came in, he was like, Marv, what's up? Hold on.
I did.
I was like, all right, well, get this. I ain't seen you
You
in a
asked
while.
me twice. You asked me twice about the hookah. I was like, you can get one. He was like, are you sure though? Like, I was like, nah, you good, fam.
I did say, like, can comics order a hookah? And you're like, yeah. But then I was like, how long do I have before I go on stage? Like, do I have time to enjoy a hookah?
You got plenty of time. Treat yourself.
People already think I'm Armenian. It's bad enough.
I'm a Persian facility. It wasn't.
I get that all the time. Like, in Southern California, they don't get Italians down here. They get Armenians, and I always get that people think I'm Armenian, which Armenians aren't even huge hookah smokers. It's really like Iranians and
it's the Persians. Yeah,
it's the Persians, yeah, and a few other Middle Easterns, but not the Eastern Europes, which people I think is a common misconception.
You can easily pass for a Persian or an Armenian. You have a very ambiguous look to you. Like you can tell me I'm from Nepal. I'll be like, yep. You can tell me I'm Armenian. I'm like, yep. And I wouldn't be like, are you? You got it.
Yeah, it's the name that throws you. I'm like, I'm Augustino, and then you're like,
Right.
wait, what are you?
Like, no.
Yeah.
Change.
You look Armenian, your fucking last name sounds Greek, your first name sounds Italian. Like, bro, what the fuck are you?
And that's yep. So whatever you say goes.
Either way, you're an alcoholic. I feel like you could say that about every race.
Probably.
It's not blacks. We don't do the alcohol. We're not.
Well, that's true. That's true. That's not a black stereotype. That's very true.
Stereotype.
But it is though, right?
No,
Like,
we got the black wino stereotype.
Really?
They are outside. They outside the liquor store. Like, we don't have the functional alcoholic black stereotype. That's not what
because it's not functional.
Well, the one I hear is like that black people like Hennessy. That's one that you'll hear. But I don't.
Yeah.
But it's not a.
I'm gonna say that's true though.
It's not a common thing that you would say that black people are drunks.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're the
Weed
weed.
for
Like
sure.
everything else. Whenever anybody gets a 23andMe done and they post it on their Instagram, no matter what the results are, the caption is always, so basically I'm a drunk.
It's like that low hanging fruit. Like everybody was doing Trump jokes for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
It's the 1% Irish. And now I know where my alcohol comes from. And then no one laughs but them.
Yeah. It's Irish, Italian, German, Scottish. They're like, we're drinking. It's like everybody drinks. Fucking everybody drinks.
You picked it up in college. You didn't pick that up genetically.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same as if they have 1% black, then all of a sudden they want to like get cornrows and like put some rap lyric under their thing. They have 1%
You leave
black
Rachel Dolezal alone, okay? You leave Rachel alone, goddammit.
She brought it to us. I didn't want to bring Rachel into this. She did it to herself.
It sounds like some fucking inside shit, you guys.
Rachel Dolezal? Oh no. She was the white woman that was claiming she was black, and then they called her out on national TV. She
Wait.
was like a pundit and everything.
But who is she?
She's a white woman.
No, but I mean, is she like a politician?
No, she was go ahead, Chris.
She was like a head of a branch of the NAACP. She worked her way all the way up the chain. Under this guise of being black, she had her hair back, she had her skin kind of tan, and then her family was like, you are white. Straight white. We're not mixed with nothing.
How often do you think that really happens and it doesn't get caught?
A lot. I think
A lot.
I think a lot now with the filter fishing. There's a lot of not black girls who want to throw some tin on it.
Yeah.
You meet him in real life, you're like, who is this in the picture?
Mm-hmm. I'm sure it happens. I mean, white dudes have been doing it forever to try to not seem racist or to to try to say they got a big dick, but they're
1% black ladies.
Yeah.
All right, relax.
Like my dad did a 23andMe, and it actually came back 3% African American, and I was like, well, then I got to be like 1.5 or something. But like that, besides racial stuff, a lot of that stuff has to be lied about, so that because people, like move up in their, like I've always thought this. I'm probably dead wrong, but I've always thought like, what if Stevie Wonder wasn't blind?
That's been a conspiracy before.
It has, right?
He can drive a car. Like, it's like, wait a minute, what's going on? How's he driving? This guy's like, he got sonar. Like, it's
the BET Awards. He got up and he danced on stage. It was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing, Stevie?
But like, he's such a talented musician, singer, songwriter. But like, so are a billion people. And with a piano, it's like, if you're amazing at the piano, you sound exactly like another guy who's amazing at the piano. You know what I mean? So
are you slandering Stevie right now? Cause we're not going. This is a very black thing. We're not going to stand for Stevie slander.
I love Stevie.
All right, I was gonna say, we're not gonna come on here.
But it would make sense if you went like, dude, that would make you stand out if you pretended to. I'm not saying that he did that.
Right, I understand.
No, yeah, but it would.
Yeah.
I guess it will boost your brand, but
right.
We love Stevie over here.
Like Elton John secretly loves pussy. I'm just kidding.
I'm sure there's a number of women he called for certain things. I put money on it.
Probably.
If Elton John was straight, the world would crumble.
Yeah.
They wouldn't know what to do with themselves. Like,
we wouldn't know what's what.
Like, they had to throw all his pink shades, got to get thrown out.
Yeah.
regular black shades, like throw those.
Straight dudes ever would be like, so I could have won star-shaped sunglasses this whole time.
Listen, give it another year and watch what happens. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, in actuality, what do we know what's really going on?
Not anything. We
That's
know
right.
what
Like,
social media is people's highlight reels. It's like ESPN. Yeah, let me give you a 20-second highlight of what the game was. But really, the game was a bunch of penalties, couple offside. It's like
that's what Instagram stories are. It's like the highlights of people's lives, and they didn't even do a touchdown.
Hashtag living my best life. I'm like, I saw you earlier today.
I know.
At Dunkin' Donuts.
I know. I'm guilty of it,
Dunkin'
dude.
Donuts this morning, didn't I? Like
that can't be your best life.
This morning, right? Nope. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Pumpkin spice latte, best life.
All right, his thing. I always wanted this. Maybe you can help me. I know you're Italian, but I'm just gonna lump you in the white for now.
That's cool.
Is pumpkin stuff only good in October, or is it good year round? Like, I just don't. It's like anytime October rolls around, we just completely switch everything. Pumpkin bagels, pumpkin muffin, pumpkin spice. It's like, is it only good in October, or is it good in like February?
Well, it'll only be like ripe in the fall. You know, I mean, it grows in the ground, and it grows like, you know, you gotta wait for it. It goes from green to orange, just like any other thing. You know, like an orange is fucking phenomenal in February. You know, I got an orange tree outside of my house, and it's phenomenal in February. But if I go eat it right now, it's yellow, and it's like close. It tastes like a lemon. But
You said it's only September, October is when it's the only time it's ripe. It's not ripe.
it's like it's almost yes and no. Like, I'm sure it's still fine in other seasons. You know what I mean? I'm sure it's not the best, but it's still edible. But it's like the whole, like, pumpkin represents October because of Halloween traditions, I feel like, and it's the significance of the fall change, which gets people excited for those sweaters and the fucking beards, and you know what I mean, and Oktoberfest. And by the way, this voice I'm doing is dudes.
What voice am I listening to right now?
That's a white dude.
I was like, is that a regular white dude? Is that, you said it was Stewie?
If it makes you feel any better to answer your question, season or not season, we dream about it all year long.
Send Helm in June, like,
Yeah.
a few more months.
To tell you the truth, I don't like pumpkin spice. I love the fall. And when I see that pumpkin spice is coming back, I get excited, but I'll never buy one. I don't like the drink. I don't like the taste. I don't like sweet things. I drink my coffee black. So, I mean, like, but when I see, but when I see the signs that Starbucks is like coming out with that fall cup, I do get excited because I'm like, football, Wakanda forever. I drink my black coffee. Do one of my favorite bits of all time is Brian Regan. And Brian Regan does this bit about how he likes his coffee black, and how impossible it is to translate this to the server or whoever. It's such a great bit, and he's just like, can I get a black coffee? And they're like, how would you like that black coffee? He goes, you mean how would I like the black coffee? Like, he goes, blickety black. Like, it's so, and they're like, any cream in that? He's like, would I like any cream in my black coffee? And then he goes on this rant, you know, Brian Regan, and he goes off of this rant, and he's like, think of the abyss, and then, like, if the abyss had space, and then if there was any light that could possibly come through that, take a black Sharpie and fill in the spaces. That's how I want my coffee. Like, it's so good, dude. It's such a good bit. I'm butchering it, but it's
fine. We butcher everyone's shit.
Yeah. Plus, I haven't heard it in a long time.
Yeah, but like, I mean, he's his own. It's like when people do like a Seinfeld bit, they're doing like a caricature of what Seinfeld
Exactly
ends up being bad. But I get the gist of what you're saying, and Marvin knows I don't drink coffee.
No,
so that's not my thing. But I've been in coffee shops on dates and stuff.
Yeah,
and I love hearing how elaborate the orders get, and I understand why they're asking those questions because people go in there as if they're, I'm gonna get this, blah, blah, blah. It's like a 10-thing item, and the cup is like this big. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, what was all that work for? To
Uh-huh.
get something that's gonna be gone by the time you get back to your car? It's like, worth it. And they,
Yeah, totally. It's just a little.
I'm a coffee drinker. And
Yeah,
if
me
your
too.
coffee ain't right, it fucks up your whole day.
Yes.
Period, point blank. It's just,
Yes.
it's seriously one of those things. You know, Chris, you've seen me. I'll carry my coffee cup for 2 fucking hours just to be like.
that cup is a prop.
Yeah.
You might be carrot top with that cup. It's like you're not doing nothing with it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I gotta have a good cup of coffee, even if the coffee's not that great. If it's black and it's not the best cup of coffee, I can live with it. But if I'm not doing black, I do a latte, and I somewhat am. I'm not 100% vegan, but I try to as much as possible. So lately, I just do almond milk, and if you fucking, the problem with ordering lattes is they will fucking overdo the milk. And you'll get a cup of milk with a splash of coffee.
With a splash of coffee, yep.
And it's just, or it's watered down or something. It's just terrible. It does ruins your day. It's how you start your day.
Yep.
So
Yes,
Chris, when you
sound
go,
like white problems. I'm not gonna lie to you.
it does. It is. It's
There's just so much milk in my morning routine. I'm like,
Yes.
I'm hearing it, and I'm trying to like get with y'all, and I'm just not here for it.
it is
I just can't
technically a
muster the energy.
very white problem to have too much white in my black. You know what I'm trying to say?
Like, where are we? This is not Florida. Like, you just can't be throwing all your white in my black.
Chris, when you go out onto a date at a coffee shop, what do you order?
Like a muffin. I've got a refresher one time. I did that one time, and it was like healthy Kool-Aid. I didn't approve of it. I was told it was good. It was red, and Marvin, you know, anything we see red, we think fruit punch. So
Yeah.
fruit punch that's black, not black drunks. Black fruit punch is
Black fruit punch. Absolutely.
fruit punch. So I'm like, oh, that's fruit punch refresher. Give me like, you know, a regular little muffin, blueberry. I'm keeping it classic.
Is it basically
And,
tea?
No, it's not. I don't know what it is. It just wasn't that. It was diluted. Whatever it was diluted.
Do
They
people?
just tried to make it.
So you go on a date. Sorry, I haven't been on a date in years. So you go out on a date, and that would, if I were to date, that would be something I would do. I would go to a coffee shop with the woman.
Very easy date. Very
Yeah, and it's also like not
Yes.
implying that she's gonna get drunk. To invite
can
them
she-
to a
yeah,
bar is different, right? If you go, hey, do you want to get a drink sometime? It's implying that, it's not implying, but there's the possibility that she could drink too much or that you want her to get drunk. But as a, let's get to know each other first, coffee's good, right?
I will say this:
Uh-huh.
you don't need. I think there's a big misconception by dudes thinking that they need to get a girl to drink. If a girl wants to fuck you, all you have to do is give her anything.
Right. No,
Anything.
I don't think that there's any truth to it.
I got this flower for you.
I'm saying like what precedent it sets. You know what I mean? Like,
what you're saying.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
she might feel more comfortable to go out with you for a drink once she's had coffee with you once before and got to talk to you for a little bit. But anyway, I'll go. So anyway, but I just can't imagine like being on a date and she's drinking coffee and you're eating a muffin. Like I just can't.
Listen, it's not my go-to. I don't open with that. It's, you know what it is.
Huh.
Marvin and I, we can go off on the dating thing for a long time, but you know, we got theories and scales
Okay.
and a bunch of stuff going on. I don't drink in general.
Okay.
So me saying let's go out for drinks is me just saying let's go out at night, basically.
Yeah.
You don't go out for drinks at noon unless it's like a Sunday or a Saturday.
Mhm.
Right? Then that's brunch. So let's go to brunch.
Yeah.
So the coffee is, I want to talk to you. I'm letting you know that I want to spend time with you, but it's low cost, low commitment,
Yeah.
low. It's very chill.
It's true.
It's just a way in. It's basically like for marketing. It's like when they do, you know, 40% off everything. You walk in, it's like a one thing 40% off, and everything else is regular price.
Yeah.
It's trying to get you in the door. Once you're in the door, you're going to buy some other stuff,
Yes.
right? Once we're at the date and we're talking, I'm gonna make you laugh. We're gonna have a good time, and then I'll say, hey, next time, let's do something more substantial.
Yeah.
Or let me cook for you, whatever. Then that's an easy one. That's a layup. If you do the first coffee right, the second was a layup.
Does it ever get in the way of dating that you don't drink, do you think?
It has not hindered my. I've been blessed out here. Let me just. I've been all right. I've been all right.
Okay.
At least the conversations.
Yeah.
They always assume it's like an alcoholic thing.
Yeah.
That it was a bad experience, and I tell them nah. And basically, I never was drawn to it.
Yeah.
I have no I have alcohol in my house now. We got Jameson, we got wine, whatever. So if someone comes over, I got them. But I walk past it. There's no temptation there.
Right.
So.
But is it that you won't drink?
I don't drink. I don't.
I know you don't drink, but like you won't, like you refuse.
There's nothing there. If I did it, it would just be for like a roll or something. Oh, we're in the club, whatever. But there's no. I rather drink pure water.
New Year's Eve, you having champagne? One? No.
I'm drinking cran neat, baby. I'm keeping it simple. Like, listen, I'm keeping it classy.
Yeah, listen.
Pick me up.
I've been to parties with Chris where we've had bottles on the table, and Chris fucks up the chasers. Just pouring himself cranberry juice and orange juice. What are you doing? We need this, Chris.
That cran orange. Listen, if they put pineapple juice on the table, it's over.
Hilarious.
I'm a chaser because I'm taking that whole thing to the face. I'm a chaser dude. I'm an orange juice, pineapple, cran.
I got you.
And
Chris will fuck up the whole table. Just
yeah.
What it does, this is what it leads to though. Like the reason I don't like drinking and I don't normally invite them to go to drinks directly is because if they start getting inebriated and they're not in their best self, I'm fully functional and they're sub-functional.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's an uneven playing field. And I don't want that. I believe arrogantly enough that I'm charming enough and funny enough to make it work on the strength of me. I don't need Jack. I don't need tequila. I feel like if you're just around me long enough and I'm joking with you, I'll throw some intellect at you, throw some jokes at you, you're going to want to keep talking to me.
No, that's great. Yeah.
That's what I feel. Now, it doesn't always work. I do
Good
let
for
Marvin
you,
slide in and be like, hey, Jameson for me. What you want, baby? He's not buying me drinks. I am. He may scoop her and go. Like, I've lost many times because she's like, you're not going to buy me a drink? What you and I'm like, I'm not. And then he'll just leave. But that's fine. That's not my people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I got you, bro. And then Marvin, you drink, don't you? Yes, I've seen you drink. Yeah, he's drinking right now. Was that wine?
No, it's
Cran.
It's a little vodka with cranberry juice.
There you go.
I knew I was doing a power for Chris, so I wanted to give him some homage.
I'm trying to cut back a little bit. I'm not saying that I'm an alcoholic or anything like that, but I do enjoy a drink. I enjoy a drink, and but I'm trying. Trying to cut back.
I don't think there's anything wrong with drinking, right? I drink.
Yeah.
Right. But I also live a very healthy lifestyle. Like I eat right. I do outside of at the beginning of the podcast, me doing close to the blackest thing possible, which was air frying some chicken. But I was air frying.
You did that too.
I did. We talked about it in the pre-show.
We were just talking about he air dried chicken.
That's what I was doing today. I was air frying some chicken. So a little blackish, but I got some roasted potatoes and I got some spinach. It'll be good. But I think alcohol, like anything else, has a place, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times people start to abuse things
that
make
them
feel a certain way, right? And not just substance as in like alcohol or weed, but like one of the things I struggled with was pussy. Because it was just easy. Chris, shut up.
I didn't say anything.
It doesn't matter. We saw your judgment.
I'm reading your shirt right now. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Look at the shirt he's wearing. I don't know if you can see it.
Who, me?
Yeah, can you see his shirt?
It says Titty Braille.
No, Marvin's shirt.
Oh, it's blue.
No, read it.
I can't see it. I see words.
Says Titty Braille.
It says what?
Titty Braille.
Titty Braille.
It's one of my jokes. It's one of my jokes. And so this is my merch also.
Okay.
But anything that you do, as long as you do it in a way that's healthy and manageable, it's fine. If you find yourself losing control, then that's an issue. So like I've never had an issue like if I drink 3 times a week, I'll go 3 weeks without touching anything. Just because alcohol doesn't control me. I might like a drink at the time that I want to drink.
Is that a lot for you 3 times a week?
It can, yeah, I feel like it is. Because it's like, what am I doing it for? Right? Like, there's if I can't be with myself in my quiet space, then something else is going on.
Yeah.
You know.
It's very mature of you guys.
Well, I mean, I come from a family, and I know Chris does too. I come from a family of alcoholics and addicts and a whole bunch of other shit. So maintaining control for me has always been a very important aspect of my living. It's like any substance, I will drop a substance in a heartbeat because I know what it looks like when alcohol ravages your family. I know what it looks like when heroin and coke and ravages. I know what it looks like when weed ravages your family, and people don't say that enough, right? Oh, I smoke every day. I smoke there are people in my family who I love. I can't deal with unless they're high. Right? So they got to smoke in the morning, smoke in the afternoon, and that fucks up family life.
Yeah.
So in the realms of substances and things of that nature, being able to know that I can stop is an important aspect to my consumption of it. But like I was saying earlier, with vagina,
you're trying to clean it up now. I laugh because you went straight and then you went clinical with it.
But I mean, let's be honest. I had a problem with pussy because that was a need for me. It was a need for me, and it wasn't like I could go, I'm 3 weeks clean. Nope. 2 weeks off. I was like, what the fuck?
Having withdrawals.
Like, you good, Marvin? Nah, man, the pussy patch ain't working right now. Take another one. Slap another one on me.
He wakes up in the middle of the night just fucking humping his pillow.
Well, that,
straight up withdrawals.
Jokingly, that was a fucking problem.
Yeah.
It's 3 a.m. and I'm.
You over giving this pillow that guy's work.
I mean, it's a real problem for some people. Sex addiction is a real problem.
Here's the thing. I honestly thought I had a problem. I actually went to a Sex Anonymous meeting. As Sex Addicts Anonymous meeting. And then when I was in there and I listened to everyone else, I was like, oh, no, I'm good.
Oh, you realized that you weren't that bad?
Yeah.
When you listen to some of them. I mean, is it that bad? Is it that bad to be addicted to sex? It's like, if you're not, I mean, if you're having safe sex and you're not getting STDs and shit, is it really?
No, I think anything that shows a lack of control becomes problematic.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
Anything that you get that controls you instead of you controlling it is a problem.
You made me feel guilty a little, not guilty, but I felt a little bad for a second.
You're a married man. You're supposed to this is where you're supposed to cash out. You're supposed to
no,
cash out right now.
I meant when you said that when you drink 3 times a week and that's kind of a lot. I'm like, dude, I drink minimum 5 days a week.
It's different for everybody. This is something that Marvin and I talk about this. We're all comics, and him and I work in the gym, and we're out late and all that stuff. This is a conversation I have with many people. Almost all of my friends drink or smoke or both, and most of my family does the same thing. I'm always the oddball out, and I think when I was younger, it was like a badge of honor, y'all on that weed and that drink. And at a certain point, it was like everybody's going through something.
Yeah,
that's how they cope. I've been very fortunate to be a nerd growing up, and I had to grow through being a nerd. I had glasses. I played the tuba. I was super short at one point. I didn't have any muscle. I had to learn how to mentally get over life to the point where I don't need those coping things. So I don't need it, but that's a blessing. I give it up for that.
Yeah.
So if other people don't have it, I don't look at them any differently. They didn't have the upbringing I had.
Right.
They have the experiences I have. So
I mean, the way I look at it is I don't let it get in the way of my life. I've never not been able to work. I've never been drunk on stage. I don't drink before the shows unless it's one, and that's 1 or 2, and then when I get off stage, I'll have a couple more. You know what I mean? But
you're fine then, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I do drink 5 times at least a week, and I feel like that's a lot, and I want to cut back because it's almost becoming like it is. I do drink because of stress. I do, but I've never like I don't wake up in the morning and go I need a drink. I wake up in the morning and go I have a bunch of shit I need to do, and I get it all done. And I'm not done doing what I need to do until about 6-7 o'clock at night, and then even still I might have a show, a podcast. So I really like by the time all that's all done, it might be like 8-9 o'clock at night, and then I have a drink. And I feel like I stayed sober the whole day. I didn't have anything the whole day. I get my shit done. You know?
It sounds like self-care almost. Like that's your form of it.
It's like I'm stressed out. It definitely helps me to relax. Yeah, I feel like I love movies. I absolutely love all kinds of movies, you know? Some of my favorite things to do is sit back and watch a movie. But alcohol, I don't want to say has ruined movies, but it's ruined the way I watch movies. I cannot watch a movie without a drink anymore. It's like it all goes hand in. I felt the same way. You know, you both are personal trainers, right? Back in the day, I don't know if you guys ever knew me when I was big. I was big.
You were when I met you. You were huskier than you are now.
Yeah,
but you weren't big.
I got up to 250 at one point.
Did not know you at 250.
Yeah, and I'm only like 5'9", guys. So I was a big dude, and yeah, you definitely did. Yeah, I guess you guys didn't know me back then, and you know it became like that. Food is an addiction, you know. I got that big at a certain part of my marriage. My first wife that I was married to, we were in a rough place, and I would like, you know, eating was like the thing, and I was also doing drugs and drinking at the same time too, and I had just been doing it just was a combination of unhealthy things, but it was the same thing for me back then. Like I couldn't watch a movie unless I had like all my favorite foods. It'd be like, oh, it's movie night, let's order pizza, let's get McDonald's, and then when you mix alcohol in it. So I definitely overcame all of that. I lost like a bunch of weight. And
yeah, you look good, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I mean, after I got divorced, I lost like 70 pounds. I went from like 250 or 240 or whatever to like 170. And then the last, like, I promised myself I would never get to 200 pounds ever again. And somewhere towards the end of the pandemic, like I would say like January of this year, I was like 199. And I was like, damn, dude, I promised myself I would never get this close. And right now, you guys, I'm 171.
That's nice.
So yeah, I keep it off, but yeah, I mean, I feel like I would lose weight quicker or keep it off if I drank less. It's not that everybody's got their vice, you know. I'm not a weed guy. I have no judgment for people who smoke weed. It was never my thing. I mean, some of my best friends are fucking famous for being weed guys. You know what I mean? I used to go on Joey Diaz's podcast regularly, and he used to force people all the time to smoke crazy shit or take crazy edibles. He never forced me to do it, and he always respected that. And I'm not a weed guy. You know, I dabbled in drugs for a little bit, but thank God I got out of that years ago. And then my vice right now is fucking gin and tonics, bro. Fucking gin and tonics.
That's a solid drink.
No, it's not bad calorically as bad as a lot of them are. So
it's not as many calories.
Not that bad.
No.
Yeah.
I do the sugar-free tonic.
Well, this guy's over here shooting from half court. All right, you're not doing bad right now. Like, as far as drink vices go, you're basically like a step away from water.
Yeah, I'm just like I don't do nothing. I don't trust shit. Fucking everybody stay away from drugs, dude. You have no idea. Even if the best case scenario, you're doing a really harmful drug. That's best case scenario. You have no idea what's really fucking in it. Like we all just seen close friends of mine anyway. I don't know how well you knew them that thought they were doing something and it ended up being something else. I don't trust nothing from nowhere, especially from another country. And you sure as hell don't know what country it came from. And so, dude, even my tonic water, it's Schweppes or go fuck yourself, all right? I don't know where the fuck Canada Dry comes from. If it's Canada, that's best case scenario.
Maybe from like Michigan or something.
Dude, Schweppes Go get yourself a bottle of Schweppes tonic water. They got USA branded like on the top.
Their ginger ale is pretty good. I actually know about Schweppes, and as far as my not drinking alcohol, Schweppes ginger ale.
Schweppes ginger ale is good. Yeah, that's what I fuck with. So why do you guys have? It seemed when we started to talk about dating and stuff like that. Why did you say you guys have a lot of input on that? You guys.
All right.
But I mean, is it something that you both commonly talk about in your act, or is it something you commonly talk about with each other as friends?
It's both.
It's both. Yeah. It's both. We have. Chris had when I met Chris. Chris had a dating scale, and instead of rating girls on 1 to 10, it was 1 to 30. And so, like, he broke that down, and then we started talking about other factors. So then added to that is what we call what is it? The
heat index.
Heat index. So we treat it like a temperature. Like some girls have a really high heat index, some girls have a low heat index. So I'll let Chris give you the 1 to 30, and then we'll expand to the rest of it.
Okay.
Well, I'll say this: the 1 to 30 was an idea birthed by Patrice O'Neill and Dante Nero. This is something that they were discussing, and I heard it. And when they broke it down, it made a lot of sense to me. And so I started trying to apply it. And then a lot of people didn't hear it when they talked about it. This is like probably 12 years ago they talked about it. And it wasn't famous and off some major platform. I heard it, started applying it. And basically, it's 3 groups of 10. 1, 0 to 10, ugly. 11 to 20, okay looking. 21 and up, beautiful. So if you're a 15, you're an okay looking person. If you're 22, you're an ugly, beautiful person. Now, what this does, their reasoning behind it was the 1 to 10 scale is almost too close. Like a 10 and a 7 are too close. That's 3 apart. A 10 is perfect. A 7 is really good, but that's like that, though.
Yeah.
Now, if you compare a 24 to like a 13, that seems like a big enough gap. So what it did is it made it, for them, it gave them the perfect amount of arrogance to have when talking to somebody.
But this is all based on appearance?
This is appearance because
okay.
That's why we had to add the heat index scale, which is my idea, which I'm happy about. So the appearance thing is like if you see somebody you're like she's pretty, but how pretty is she? Like all right, she's like an 18. She's a really pretty, okay looking girl. Now what? Like she's really pretty, but nothing is like wow. Like she's not a model-esque, but like for like a barista, for like a girl you work with. And what that does is you can talk to her with 18 energy. You don't talk to her with 9 or 10 energy. Because 9 or 10 energy, you're playing yourself. Hey, beautiful, can I? And you're doing all this over the top stuff because you think she's a 9 or a 10. And 18 is, hey, you're really pretty, but if Adriana Lima walks in, no one's looking at you anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like this, it gives you the proper arrogance to have.
It's if you don't know your system and somebody said like you're like dude you should go out with my friend she's hot and they're like well how hot is she you're like bro she's an 18 they'd be like what
you can explain the scale in like 34 seconds like you can it's not like once you explain the scale then it makes sense because you have to be real about it.
Yeah,
because I'll say oh that girl's gorgeous and you say how gorgeous and I'll say like a 26 and you're like oh
yeah
that's almost a 30 like wow and then when you see you're like oh my like you. But that's like when you're 25 and above, that's almost universally beautiful. Like there's nobody saying Gal Gadot's not beautiful.
Yeah.
She walks in a room, she's shutting down the room. Doesn't matter what your type is, doesn't matter what I don't like tall white girls. Okay, look at her. He's like, all right, I like one. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll give it up immediately. So that's the 1 to 30 scale. I'll let Marvin get into the heat index scale because this is what I'm proud of.
Well, the heat index. So Chris and I, we work together, and so in the gym we would see the 1 through 30, and we would rate them based on the 1 to 30 because that was easy conversation. But then we would start to recognize that there would be a girl who was a solid 15, but as a solid 15, everyone would go, I don't know why I want to fuck her, right? Like, it was like, what does she give off that makes, and it's a universal give off, right? So it would be like, this girl's look average, and then me and Chris would look at each other and be like, you see that shit too? And it would be like, there's something about her.
Like they're not 30s or 26s, but they're like 15s, but there's something about them that's just sexy, right?
Exactly.
That's what it is.
So that's the heat index.
I agree.
Chris,
I've noticed things
Chris
like that.
Attributed it to like if you go outside and it's 90 degrees, right? But then on the heat index, there's a cold 90 and then there's a blazing 90, right? It's still 90, right?
Yeah.
So she can still be a 15. She could be a cold ass 15, or she could be a 15 that's on fire.
We've all seen them. It is a very odd thing to like experience when you see someone who's objectively better looking. Like, let's say two women, they're friends. They come in a room. One is objectively better looking. Like, there's no way around it. You know, better assets, whatever. But she's kind of like frigid, maybe a little vapid. There's just nothing more to her. And her girlfriend is just like so effervescent, just so outgoing. You're like, man, I know your friend is prettier, but I like you better. And if people will come around them, it's like, yeah, we like this one better. And it's not a tangible thing, like you can put your finger on it. It is a feeling.
Well, you're getting into like more of like someone's personality and who they are.
And their essence,
But there are chicks that like, even if you didn't really know them that well and they're not the hottest chick you've ever seen, there are chicks that you go like, there's something about them. They're just so fucking sexy.
That's what it is.
It's like sex appeal.
Their disposition, their essence, their, you know, joie de vivre, whatever you want to call it, they just have it. And I think it's usually rooted in confidence. Usually there's a confident element to that person. Because you can be beautiful and insecure because, you know, your work is somewhat attached to your beauty. But it's like the ones who are like, I'm a homegirl, but if I get gussied up, I'm really, really pretty. But I'm also cool being dressed down in sweatpants and a tee. Those are the ones that guys are like, I don't know what it is about that sweatpants and t-shirt, but I like that. I don't need you to have heels on every day.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's so subjective that I don't want to throw out an exact example, but I will give you an exact example.
Throw it out.
Let's throw out this exact example. Jennifer Lawrence.
I like J-Lo.
Not Jennifer Lopez.
No, I said J-Lo.
No, J-Lo.
Oh, okay. I think you said J-Lo.
No, everybody likes J-Lo.
Okay.
Like,
Jennifer Lawrence, like, I see what you mean, because on a scale of 1 to 10, you might say she's a 7.5 or like a 7, right? But that is too close. So yeah, if I said if we did it on a 30, she might be more like an 18.
18, 19, exactly.
18, 19. Yeah, I got you.
And there's something about Jennifer Lawrence that a lot of guys like, and they can't really explain it.
Yes.
Like her facial features are like kind of symmetrical, but not really. Her smile is whatever. But something about her, you're like, yep.
Like, she's not prettier than Gal Gadot.
Nope.
No.
But I think a lot of guys would take her over Gal, though.
Yeah, there's something, you know what it is? And it's so fucked up to say, but it's the truth. And I was just thinking this like a week ago, is that you can just kind of, and I'm sure women do it to men.
100%.
You can tell that someone's dirty.
You open up a can of worms that we were trying to talk around. Marvin and we been trying to talk around it for the last 15 minutes because this is literally our conversation.
Yeah. And they may not be the hottest one in the room, but there's something about them like that. Like Jennifer Lawrence, she looks dirty.
A piece of garbage.
In the purest, most complimentary form.
Like Gal Gadot is probably a supermodel compared to Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, yes. She is. But
Jennifer Lawrence, you know she's dirty.
Yes.
Like, you just know. Like, her facial expressions, like, you do some weird shit, don't you, girl? You know what I mean? Like, just
there's something there, and it's like they exude it. That's the thing. You can't put on. You can put on beauty. You can put eyelashes on. You can put eyeliner. You can put extensions in. You can do a lot of things to make the beauty number go up. That's why when I like gussied up is a southern expression or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, to get dressed up, whatever. So if someone gets gussied up, they got dressed up.
But it's true. This is something that they can't take off. It's a sex appeal that they seem like
they have something. It may be like a little danger in their sleep. You know who has a thing? Margot Robbie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Margot's got a thing.
Yeah.
She's a 115-pound Australian woman, not particularly curvy, very pretty, but like body is
not curvy.
Not curvy. But everybody who sees it, when you saw her in Wolf of Wall Street, you see her in Harley Quinn, you see it. No matter what you see her as, you're like
something sexy about
her. Focus. Like there's something she
focus.
Really, there, so you see the face you made? You said, Gal Gadot, blah blah blah. And you said, man, Margot Robbie in Focus. That's the feeling.
Yeah.
I think that Margot Robbie is more beautiful than like Jennifer Lawrence.
Sure.
Like Margot Robbie looks like she has an old school like actress face.
Yeah, I give you that, but
Yeah.
that doesn't make her. That's not what makes you want.
But she has that sexiness.
That's what we're
Yes.
talking about. That's the heat index. That's the thing that him and I were talking. And I was like,
Yes.
I couldn't put a thumb on it.
If
And
I
didn't
saw
hear
Margot
her.
Robbie in a hoodie,
you would love it.
there would
Right.
still be something. No makeup. There's something. There's
It's
something.
it's the thing that she exudes that you can't teach. You
Mhm.
just got it. And it's
And-
something that we call the heat index because when you bring up in that example, guys do what you did. We didn't discuss this pre-show. You didn't know we were going to get into
I
this
did not
topic.
know. Yeah.
Now you're like immediately on board.
We
because
all
it's
know what we're
something
talking
you felt-
about.
You felt this for a long time and maybe you didn't have a word for it. You're like,
Yeah.
man, she's hot, man. You just threw it out some generic term, but really it's
Yeah.
more nuanced than that. It's not
There's just
a hot,
some.
it's a
You
just
look at
want-
them
yeah.
and you go, she can suck a dick. I
Look
guarantee
at
you.
Marvin's face. Marvin's face was like,
Don't say it. It's okay if I say it.
I'm not going to share the name that Chris and I know,
yep.
but there's someone that Chris and I have similar relationships to, right?
That you personally know?
Personally.
That we
Okay,
both
okay.
personally know. And the first conversation that both of us had about her, we said she's an absolute piece of trash.
Mm.
She's an absolute piece of trash.
With love, ladies. With
Again,
love.
like that's a compliment. Like we're saying it from absolute love, but we know that the word no is probably not in her vocabulary.
Word count. Instantaneous.
This is so terrible, but you know that women can probably have. There probably is a thing that exists for men too. That like,
yeah, they do the same shit, right?
They
They
probably-
just don't talk about it on the podcast.
yeah.
Right, like yeah, but like
It may
you know,
not be the same exact things that but there's something where they're like, I don't know what it is about that guy, but I'm drawn.
They're
I mean,
attracted to confidence. Like, we
No, they'll say it in a heartbeat. I would do things to him. They'll say it to girls in a very more private way, right? Like we're out here going, she's a piece of trash. They'll say that at home, right?
Yeah.
Where they say, I guarantee you, like they'll go, I know he has a big dick, right?
Mhm.
They don't know if he
They
has
s-
a big dick.
they get
but
that
he
vibe
has-
from you.
He's got big dick energy.
Yeah.
That term came from them. We didn't make that up.
Yeah, we did not make that up.
Right. Like I never talked to my boy and was like, damn, he has big dick energy. No,
That's something it's a confidence thing.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
Women, when they do all the skills, what do you want in a man or what do you find attractive?
Yeah.
They say like height, symmetrical face, whatever. Confidence is always one of the top 2 or 3. And that confidence is what attracts them. It's like, yeah, he's kind of a douchebag, kind of a jerk, but man, he's just so confident. You almost
That is
have
true.
to like, you just have to go along with the thing he's saying.
I would say that confidence is one of, if you're a confident man, it's a very strong suit for you. Absolutely. If anything, you could say that women probably do it more than us, and they just don't talk about it, because how many attractive women do you see with dudes that ain't that good looking? You know,
every day.
there's probably something in every dude. Now, you might say, like, oh, maybe he's got money, but that's not always, it really is not always the case. Women really do go, like, I like a dude who's a little chubby, or I like a dude who's, like, got that scruff beard. You know, you never know what it is. But see, with, like, women, it might be their individual thing. Like, that she may only see it, rather than all women see it. But with men, we're like, we all see that she's trash, right?
Right, but even in that, like we realize that there's still there. We might realize she's trash, but the amount of trash energy she gives will then vary versus who she's interested in.
Yeah.
Right. Because this same particular person that Chris and I know, I don't know what you would rate the trash energy you get. I get a 9
It's pretty high.
of trash energy.
It's basically like I got a camera on my roof, like on my ceiling. I got a camera in the mirror, and I got cameras next to the bed. We can shoot something. We can give.
Wow.
It up. If you look under my bed, get ready.
You guys are not saying this girl's name, but she's so trashy, she knows you're talking about her.
This doesn't just apply to one person. No, we know.
No, there's quite a few.
We know a couple of. But the point of it is, it's a feeling that we have. It's a natural feeling.
It's
And
just-
when you talk
it
to other
is.
guys. like we're not from the same background. You're married, you're older than us, whatever. And we're having this conversation on this level. If I find a 21-year-old dude in college and we start talking, he'll be like, yo, there was this one girl in high school that I just couldn't figure out. She wasn't a cheerleader. She wasn't a prom queen.
Yeah.
She was a girl in my biology class.
She wasn't the sexiest girl. She was in class. She's just, you were drawn to her. There's something about her.
Listen, they made movies about the ugly girl that people can't get over, right? Like that's huh?
The Dark Knight.
You said The Dark Knight? Hilarious.
Is that too much?
Hilarious.
Leave the Gyllenhaals alone.
Leave the Gyllenhaals alone, bro.
I love that movie except for that one part of it. It would be a perfect movie without whatever.
That's so funny you say that. My wife and I watch that together, and we'll always go like, Maggie Gyllenhaal. Well, I don't see it.
Like it's the difference between this is a good example. We're now in this genre. Her compared to Thalia and the third one. That's the difference.
Yeah.
You flip it, and then you're good. The French actress, like that's the one. You put her in The Dark Knight. And then you got.
I forget her name, but she's just, besides the fact that she's a phenomenal actress, also I think that maybe because we're artists, I'm really attracted to talent.
Oh, absolutely.
If a woman has talent, it's an attractive feature. But yeah, she's such a great actress. I mean, I'm not trying to say that Maggie is a horrible actress, but she's fine.
That role didn't require her to be a good actress. That role required her to be the woman that two of the most powerful people in that city vied for.
We're fighting.
Give up the throne for her. You put Talia in that role. You can even put Anne. Listen, I actually like Anne Hathaway in her movie. Some people don't. I like Anne Hathaway in that role, but whatever.
I really do too.
Put Anne Hathaway in that role. I'm like, I can see it. But when I see Harvey Dent, DA, crushing life, clean cut, I'm the dude, and then Bruce Wayne, multi-billionaire, lives off on his own estate, not even in the city. Like, what jurisdiction is this? Don't worry about it. Willing to give it all up.
For Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Come on, man. I'm like, don't do that to me.
That chick, that great French actress, it sucks that we don't know her name because she's probably, but we know fucking Maggie Gyllenhaal's name and we know Anne Hathaway's name, but she's probably as good, if not a better actress than all of them. But she's an Inception also. She's just fucking great, dude.
She's great in Inception.
She's incredible. Listen, like you said, like talent is a turn on, right?
Yeah.
Like Chris knows for a fact that I'm a sucker for talent. Like my big sucker is singing.
Yeah, I know.
The most toxic thing in my life called me on my birthday and sang happy birthday, and I was ready to give it all up again. Just what are we doing with life? And it was like, there's something about talent because I think it's because we have seeds of it, right?
Yeah.
Like we have all been in the game for 10 plus years now as comics, right? And you know when someone has it. Augustino, like when I moved out here, I had done my work in New York, right?
Yeah.
Thought I had Gladys Simon calling clubs for me from the comic strip live. She was like, no, Marvin, we're going to get you on. And I went to these clubs and they was like, yeah, we have an open mic on Monday. We have an open mic on Tuesday. And I was like, no. Gladys was like, and they was like, yeah, we have open mic. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I did your new talent night.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, this kid's got something, right? Just on the basis of me getting on stage and telling some jokes that are definitely not even in my set anymore. I'm like, the fuck was I talking about? But we see it. So when you have it and you see it, you're drawn to it. And that's like, so when women who have talent as actresses, as singers, as dancers, that adds to their,
it's an extra appeal. Yeah. You know, and not to take away from, I mean, your guys' method is clearly universal, recognized. It ain't no lies. But I will say that I strongly believe that personality will make someone uglier. It will physically uglier or more attractive. Yeah. Like not just like symbolically, like physically. Like
There's
if you're a
someone-
bitch, I will watch your face transform into something unattractive.
And the worst thing in the world is when you see a beautiful woman with a great personality. Chris, you know who I'm talking about.
I know.
She is like she's beyond universally gorgeous. She's a solid 27, maybe 28, right? She works out, and then she's one of the sweetest people I've ever met. And I was like, first of all, don't look at me with your beautiful
Don't do that.
ivory skin and your piercing eyes. And
Yeah, you can't go more descriptive.
I know, because I realized people were like, I know who that is.
Yeah, don't do
And just be the sweetest person in the world.
So
And now
she
I'm
is
like,
also a sweet, sweet person?
dude, like
That's the thing.
genuinely a sweet
Well,
person.
that's a 30. That's a
She's-
Nah,
30.
she's still 27.
Here's where she is. If there was a club that was like 25 and up, and your face was your ticket in, they're not carding her. You know what I'm saying? Like she can walk in. Hey, you gotta go, and then like, hey, what are you doing? I'm
Gotcha.
just the driver. Like, all right, just making sure you know.
Yeah.
You driving? Keep it moving.
But if you're a 30 and you're a bitch, that's a
Then
you're
drop
like a
down.
10. You're like a 10.
Yep.
Yeah, because here's the thing: like the attractiveness number, the 1 to 30 thing is just pure looks. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean I want to talk to that person.
Yeah.
You could be a 25. Like Marvin knows this. I don't like models. I don't like tall, like lanky looking people. But objectively, people like models. That's why they're models, right? They get to go to clubs, VIP, here's some money, whatever. That's not my type. So if you're, 6 foot and beautiful, whatever, that's not going to like move me. But I can see beautiful. Hey, you're beautiful. Long legs, whatever. I know you can be pretty, but it really is. You said the personality thing. The personality thing to me in the heat index are the two that really determine whether you want to be with somebody.
Yeah.
The attractiveness may get you in the door. Like I'm not gonna walk up to someone I think is a 13 to find out they have a good personality. Right? There is a prerequisite.
She has to have a
attractiveness that
good.
I'm
She
gonna-
has to have a good personality if she's 13.
Don't
She
do that.
has to.
What I'm saying is I won't know. I'll never know.
Yeah.
I'll never know. But like there's a prerequisite looks where
Yeah.
no matter like even if you're like a 17, 18, whatever. I've dated 17, 18s and been perfectly like content, very happy. I see a 25 walk by. Nah, that's not my girl. I keep it moving. Because
Yeah.
there's a look that gets me in the door, then it's the personality and heat that keep me in the house.
Right.
Or else I go back outside.
Yeah, exactly, because the personality could bring the look down. So ultimately,
100%.
it's
Yeah.
the physical thing keeping us. But your personality can bring your look down. And women that, besides being nice, that are or being bitchy, there's women that are judgy, which also bothers me. Like you can be really nice, because let's face it, guys.
Yeah.
We live in a time where there's a lot of women fronting to be nicer than they really are. They're jumping on bandwagons of we support these rights and stuff like that, especially in California. And and a lot of them are white women. These white women, they if you, I guarantee you that if you created a problem towards a race that didn't exist, you could convince white women to follow your parade and they wouldn't even know that the race didn't exist. Or that the cause didn't really even exist. Like there's these people that they convince themselves that they're good people, and they might actually be. They might actually be really great people. But at the end of the day, they're judgy as fuck. Like these same women that are claimed to be so nice and good people would judge the fuck out of our conversation right now, or would you know what I mean? Like. I knew a woman once that, I thought that she came across as very like open-minded, and she supported gays, and she supported, you know what I mean? Like she was very liberal, if you say, which I think I'm also liberal, in many ways, and very forward, very nice, kind person. But one day I made a comment about how like I don't appreciate men that wear flip-flops. Me personally. I made it was more of a joke. I personally don't wear flip-flops, and I'm not gonna hate you if you're a man who wears flip-flops. But as a joke, I said like real men don't wear flip-flops, and got attacked.
That thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are trash.
Yeah, not the thong flip flops. No, if you got a pair of Jordans and socks, I ain't mad at you. You know what I mean? But like, or if you're around your house or you're at the beach or whatever like that. But you know, I'm constantly in an airport and I see men with flip flops, and these men are fathers. Like they got these are fathers. They have to carry a stroller and then the baby in the other arm and 2 luggage, and they're flopping around the fucking airport. And it's like, dude, when you go to the airport, or it's sneakers. It's fucking. My father never wore flip flops. I never seen it. My dad had sandals on. It was that shit with the buckle. You know what I mean? Like fucking. Because you never know when you got to run after your kid, or what if somebody steals your wife's purse.
Your dad had the Jesus Christ 3s on.
Yes, he did. You know, what happens if there's like an earthquake and you got to fucking like protect your lady and run down the street and there's glass all over there? You're going to cut your feet and you can't run and carry her. And I just implied that men have a responsibility to be always ready for anything to protect their family, right?
And she lost her shit.
Just very judgy. Like, we live in a society where people are so against judging that they have become the ultimate judgers.
No, I mean, I agree wholeheartedly. I think part of the issue is a lot of people aren't sincere anymore.
Yeah.
People want to exude a certain appearance, right? So they want to look a certain way. They want to appear a certain way. And this is going to be the oddest thing I say probably in the next few weeks. To be fair to white women, they have to find a cause, right? Because your cause can't be white. So you have to find another cause to champion, right? Like, you can't be like, our white men are suffering. Bitch, you can't be like, I can't get a job as a white woman, even though they do say that. Like, they have to champion other causes. This is the only time I'm going to say be fair. But in that mindset, you get false support, which is really a lot of the shit that's going on right now, right? Like, you'll hear people say, I support this, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. But if you actually knew who they were or got down to the source of their essence, they don't actually give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you see that when it comes down to, like, voting, right? Like, I'll champion this cause, and then the vote comes in, and you're like, wait, 78% of white women voted the opposite way of what white women were yelling about in the street? Like, the proof is always in the pudding.
Yeah.
But you see a lot of this false support, or maybe not even false, but misguided support.
It is misguided.
Right? Because people feel that they have to do certain things. Like, this group is under scrutiny or under judgment, so I've got to support this, or I got to protect this, or I got to do this. And it's like, no, like, we live in a world where we don't believe in middle anymore. Yeah. Right? Like, it's either extreme here or
crazy.
Extreme here.
It's crazy.
And I, like, in my politics, I'm moderate. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There are some things I'm fiscally conservative about. I think the welfare system keeps people on the welfare system.
Yeah.
I think the welfare system informs the prison system. I think the prison system is directed towards keeping black men incarcerated, right? So I have my issues with, like, fiscal responsibility and teaching people the right thing, right? But then I also believe you can
like the 1 to 30 system. Sorry. I'm just fucking with you.
No. I know, but what I'm saying is, like, a lot of times, right? Like, for example, the thing we've seen this year, time after time after time, are stimulus checks, right?
Yeah.
Stimulus checks that don't actually do shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Here's $1,200, right?
Here's $600.
And if your rent is paid, what are they doing? Spending it on some dumb shit, right? Because we haven't actually taught people how to save, how to be fiscally responsible, how to build your credit, how to do this, how to do that.
Yeah.
So the money's being is being used incorrectly.
For sure.
Right? So I am fiscally responsible when it comes here. But I can't vote on a fiscally conservative bill because the fiscally conservative bill has 75 earmarks that say fuck people in the process. And so when you look at people supporting certain things, right? Like they say, I want to support the LGBTQ community, right? But they don't have any idea what the LGBTQ community is, right?
Yeah.
So like, you go, Caitlyn Jenner is a hero. And it's like, that dude still has a dick.
Yeah.
And he's playing elaborate dress up, right?
It's true.
And me saying that will get this shit flat.
Listen, 4 white women just had a heart attack.
I agree. No, I agree. I consider myself to be very liberal, but somewhere along the line, the liberal moved, I guess you could say left, like too far left, where my liberalness became right. And people think I'm actually very conservative. I'm actually more liberal, which comes from the word libertarian, which comes from the word liberty, which I really fucking believe in. And you know, like I'll be like, I'm fucking totally cool with 2 dudes being in love, and you guys want to fucking get married, that's your business. I'm fucking fine. Like yeah, what, like who are we to fucking stop you? But if I say I don't think that a minor should be able to have a sex change operation, and you know what I mean, or have take hormonal pills. Like if you say that, you're like, dude, you're fucking conservative, bro. It's like, what, dude? There's a fucking fine line.
You know what it is like, I was talking to somebody who's a like super conservative person, and this is the dichotomy between the two parties. The conservative people have basically just quadrupled down on things they've said this whole time: God, country, and no taxes. Basically, they just so that alienates a certain amount of people, like closed borders, blah blah blah. But they stay married to that, so it's easier to stay lockstep. The issue with the liberal side is that there's so many causes and so many conflicting agendas that you want to include everybody, but you can't include everybody because everybody keeps growing. At one point, it was just, hey, we feel disenfranchised, and we're looking out for you. But then the number of people who feel disenfranchised got bigger, and their causes got more nuanced. And so we're trying to like look out for trans as we look out for LGBT, as we're looking out for blacks, as we're looking out for this, and it just keeps growing, and you're trying to please everybody. And the problem is, you can't please everybody without either just having no foundation or without pissing off a big segment of people. And that's the issue with the liberal Democrat side now, is that the base was here and it's doing this. And it's like anything. The more it grows, the more fractured it gets and the less cohesive it is. So even in their messaging, it's hard to like say we believe in this, because it's like, well, if you believe that now you're going against all this other stuff and these people are potential votes. Conservatives are like, hey man, we're overturning Roe v. Wade. Get ready for it. It's happening. You know, we're gonna piss people off. So not our people.
And they're going to do it. Like everyone keeps saying, they're not going to do it. They're absolutely. They're going to do it.
But it's not going to piss off their base. It's like being canceled. You can only get canceled by the people who put you on. Yeah. Right. That's my belief. That's true. I'm a black comic, and I say something that's anti-black, and I can't now go to black comedy clubs. Like Cat Williams can't go on TV and say something super anti-black. That's his people. Right, but you know, Steve Harvey can do whatever he wants to do. Steve Harvey's not employed by us. Yeah, like we're gonna cancel Steve Harvey. Who do you work for? Viacom? How you gonna do that? Like, you know, it's not this shit.
But that's exactly right. I mean, you can't take away something that you didn't give somebody. But if you gave it to him, you could take it away. But you know, if the 3 of us got famous off this fucking podcast, and then we all probably not. But if the 3 of us got famous for being comics, and then later on somebody found this podcast and said we were talking shit about women and subjecting them to a 30 scale, then
I would love to have a conversation.
That'd be a great. But if we were on a network television show for NBC, you can take it away from us. But if we were simply famous for being stand-up comics and we did it on our own, you can't take it away from us.
Right.
Our fans are going to stay with us.
I mean, you saw it with Bill Burr.
Yeah.
They tried.
Yeah. They've always tried. They've been trying with him. They've been trying with Rogan. They've been trying, but you can't take it away from something that somebody built, and you built it because you were being who you are, and now you're going to get mad at him for being who he is. You can do that all you want, but his fans are going to love him for who he is.
It would be like if George Carlin was alive today.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they would come for George Carlin so hard, and he wouldn't give a fuck, and he would double down on being George Carlin, and we would be like, "You're fucking right."
Right. You know, dude, we live in a world where a lot of people have really hard opinions on things that they were never educated on the subject, but it was put in their face like this is the right thing to do. Right. And people will, you know, I mean, it's a touchy subject. I don't know where you guys stand on it all, but like, you know, when somebody says Black Lives Matter, that is a fact. That's true. I believe that Black lives do matter, but you don't think about that's a company that files taxes. That's just the name of a company, you know.
I hate the name of the company.
But it was
no, seriously, Marvin. I hate the name because it's easy to, like, it's like if you put somebody on trial, and they're a witness, you can discredit the witness by finding one thing that makes their character. It's like the Furman thing for the OJ trial. He said N-word, cool. Then this whole cop thing, whatever. Black Lives Matter is such a easy thing to flip. You can say all lives matter. Asian lives matter. And now all of a sudden it's so.
Well, I actually have a bit on that whole what we're talking about on the names. No, I'm not going to do it now, but you're right. I do have a bit about the gist of the bit is basically about how hide things behind really good names is kind of the bit. But people don't look into things. As my point is, like, you know, last year the NFL players were wearing Black Lives Matter on their helmet, but then no one looks into things. If you looked at the jersey and the helmet, who makes it? They're fucking made in China, where they have absolutely no child labor laws. So what about Chinese lives? What about Chinese children's lives? Well, you know, nobody looks into everybody will be like Black Lives Matter, and then they'll go, I can't wait for Black Friday, which they have no idea where the name Black Friday came from.
It actually came from.
It's an accounting term, but I understand what you're going.
Yeah.
No, it's before an accounting term.
Before that, dude. Before that. So after Thanksgiving, it was the season to get ready for the crops, and that was where they would give discount sales on trading slaves.
Yeah.
And that's why it was called Black Friday. And we still call it that, and no one has any idea why.
So Chris knows this about me. Yeah. I'm super bring it back to black, pro black. I'll punch a nigga in his face.
Even when he doesn't deserve it. Marvin, I had to get it off. Sorry.
Yeah.
But what you were saying is, like, let's be very honest about what Black Lives Matter was. Black Lives Matter was a statement, right? Black Lives Matter was a statement. And we watched, which is funny to me, and Chris knows this, white people for the first time watched a bunch of niggas get killed on camera. Black people have known this forever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like Dave Chappelle has that joke where he's like, hey, honey, black people know that white people are confused. Black people getting beat up on Time magazine. We know that is a part of our community. So the saying of Black Lives Matter was just a saying. It was not an organization. Right? And so what happened was white people kept killing us all over the country. And so it was like, well, there's going to be a Black Lives Matter protest, not an organization, just the statement of Black Lives Matter, right? Civil rights, right?
Yeah.
The civil rights movement is literally just, hey, treat us civilly, right? And people put it as this, it was this movement. Black Lives Matter became an organization because it had to, right? Everyone was saying Black Lives Matter is this thing where everyone in every state is doing different things. So they centralized it. And they centralized it to an organization. The founding underlying principle of Black Lives Matter is simply this. A, Black Lives Matter. Right? And if you actually want to fix it, it's Black Lives Matter too. But that's not what we're saying. All we're saying is, hey, don't kill us because we're black. Right? So people get into this whole George Soros and all this other bullshit and it's the same shit that it's always been. It's to deflect from what the organization's number one primary goal and mission statement is.
But that's what always happens.
Black Lives Matter.
And then money got involved.
Right. But the same thing with the civil rights movement. Like the civil rights movement was not started by Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King didn't wake up and was like, all right, civil rights movement. No. Martin Luther King was a part of one organization, the SCLC, and like sorry, I'll get off this because Chris knows how I am. But Martin Luther King was part of one organization that was like, hey, we just want civil rights. And what happened was they forced him cream rises to the top, and he became the central head of the civil rights movement. But if you look at the papers at the time, right, it was, what is this organization? What are they trying to do in government? They're trying to take this from white people. Anyone who doesn't understand what's going on are very quick to try to take the foundation of what an organization is and flip it to whatever thing they want. So you look at Fox News, fuck Fox News, but you look at Fox News, you look at dickheads like Tucker Carlson who say whatever the fuck they want, and they give misinformation that leads people in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Right?
Whatever it is.
It's just a statement, as the civil rights movement was just a statement. Treat us like fucking people.
No, yeah, that's what I've always said is I agree with the term. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, once for me, it gets weaponized is the problem.
Right.
It gets weaponized.
But anything becomes weaponized.
Yeah.
Right?
And they basically use it for their benefit. You know, the most racist people on the planet will have a BLM on their lawn because they'll make money off of it. I'm not saying they all do. I'm just saying it can happen and it would happen.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you have to, like, the owner, one of the majority shareholders of Equinox, is a starch Republican who threw a fundraiser for Donald Trump and all this other stuff. But Equinox in itself is an open organization that's considered liberal and inclusive to all people. So can you have someone that is a staunch Republican who believes his beliefs, as Chris said, God, Texas, and religion, Texas, and whatever, and still make money off of the liberal counterpart? And the answer is yes, and they do it every day.
Yeah.
It usually comes back to money. And I don't know who came up with the saying. Tony Kornheiser on PTI says all the time, "Does the answer to all your questions is money?" And it's such a like pithy and like kind of succinct way to say it. But if you boil all the stuff down to the root, like what laws are passed, what things are being pushed through in Congress, what new rules are being enacted, you go all the way down to the bottom. There's usually a money thing attached to it.
Always,
and
dude.
You know, one thing, the reason, listen, they incorporate it because you can make money off of it. Sure, they want to centralize the movement, but we're not a monolith either. So it's like even that idea is kind of a thing, but there's always money. There's money in our news organizations. I went to school initially to be a journalist, and my teacher was someone who worked in print for a long time and became a teacher. And he said once the 24-hour news cycle started, news stopped being about news and started being about ratings. And once it became about ratings, then it became about sensationalism, because that's what sells. No one wants to hear, hey, we've successfully trained 1,000 new troops today. That's not in the news. You know what is news? One person died in Afghanistan from Idaho, and then like we interview his family and they tell us how amazing it was, because that's an emotional connection to them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this could be this. Some predator could be living in your neighborhood. Tune in at 11. It's 5 in the afternoon. So I gotta wait for 6 hours to find out if there's a predator in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because it's a TV to watch the show. Even though your kid may get fucked in the next 6 hours. Like, you don't know. It's like
my kid got abducted.
It's a 24-hour news cycle.
Yeah.
How many really news events happen in a given day? It's usually 1 or 2 stories and then a bunch of speculation. And the speculation is what drives everything. Could Trump run in 2024? I'm like, fam, it is 2021 right now. Can we live today?
Yeah.
Why are we even 3 years? Like, why are we even there?
Right.
But that's the news. The news is throw Hillary's name on it, throw Trump's name on it, throw Obama's name on it, and that's going to move it.
We need to fucking focus on fixing right now, dude. Stop worrying about 2024. But that's what they did all the last 4 years. Is they were all worrying about who was gonna fucking, they were all worried about getting Trump out, that they didn't prepare a fucking good candidate.
It's not about the news. It's not about the truth. It's about making money.
Yeah, let's fucking forget. I mean, 2024 is going to be here before you know it, sure. But we got to try to work on now,
It's all money, man.
Yeah, but you know what it tells me, dude, is that what I get from all of this, and this is what I always think to myself, is what I get from all of this is that people are good, man. There's a lot of good people. Yes, there's bad people, but there's a sure hell of a lot of good. The people that you don't agree with, there's a lot of them are still good people.
Yeah,
Because we just
Absolutely.
watch the news or we believe the posts, and like I said, like people do stuff without looking into it or researching it, stuff like that. They just do stuff based off of they were sold that's the right thing to do. Now that sucks, but at the same time, it tells me that people are just trying to do the right thing, and they may not know what the right thing is, but a lot of people have good hearts, and they really do love and care about people, and that's why I'm still a fucking comic. You know?
I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I countered that statement with people are also very selfish,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
And so you get dickheads like Don Lemon, you get dickheads like Tucker Carlson. I don't like neither of the motherfuckers. You know
Yeah.
this, Chris.
I just like the characterizations that are funny to me. Keep going.
You get dickheads like them who appeal to people's emotions and don't appeal to the truth,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that
That's what it
emotional
is. That's the
appeal,
game.
They appeal to the one selfish thing that we have, right? Like I can sell you and I can package you a complete bill that makes absolute perfect sense, right? Like the infrastructure bill.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. But then I'll earmark something like the Iron Dome. And the second I earmark something like the Iron Dome, the thing that it allows people like Tucker and Don to do is take these stark sides, right? And we're no longer talking about the actual bill anymore.
Yeah.
We're talking about an earmark, and we're talking about something that shouldn't be on the bill, one, to begin with. And we're talking about something, and we're no longer focusing on, as a nation, how do we improve an infrastructure bill, which we sorely need, right? Like, I can drive down the same street I grew up in Baltimore, and it's the same fucking pothole and the same fucking place where I fell off the bike and I bust my head. Anyway, sorry. Oh, shit. I ain't bringing it back up. What I'm saying is,
You just fucking.
we need an infrastructure bill, but we can't get to the infrastructure bill because what we're talking about is the Iron Dome, right? And then no one knows what the Iron Dome is except for a select few people, right? And then everyone else hears the Iron Dome and they go, Israel's doing what? And the other side is like, Israel needs to do this. And there's no longer a conversation about the infrastructure bill.
Right.
And that's because people's, like, we're good people, but we still are driven by our own selfish concerns. And if I can appeal to your emotion and your selfish concern or your selfish need or the thing that makes it important to you, I can now divide the country.
Mm-hmm.
There's a saying that good is good if it's good for me. And I think
That's right.
That's as simple as the answer to all your questions is money. These are two of my mantras, by the way.
Basically.
I just think that when I view the world, I'm like, people do what they do because it's good for them. Like, it is what, and it's a very primal thing, and it makes sense. It's logical.
When it comes down to it.
Why wouldn't you want to do what's in your best interest? Like, I get it. And it's like when Marvin's saying appealing to people's lesser parts, like one of the greatest South Park episodes is right? Like the whole and the whole idea of it is just like they're coming to this country, flooding the borders and just stealing jobs from us hardworking people. And it was like to the point where the kids were out here saying, and it's a phenomenal episode. But that's their appeal is that everyone who comes from Mexico is here to take your job. None of them are good people. None of them are doing jobs that you won't want to do anyway. This may not even affect you, but that's the idea. So when you see someone across the border, it's like, hey, that person's coming to take my job, so I can't feed my family. So get them out of here. That's the idea.
Yeah.
It's an easy position to poke at because you see, look, they're not even paying taxes. He's working in the fields. That he's not paying. Like, you can easily make an argument that someone who feels like maybe my job is expendable. Like maybe I didn't go to college and my job is a very basic job where someone can just pick it up in a couple weeks. If you can pay them less than you're paying me, they may potentially take my job. So yes, I'm against them trying to have a better life. I'm against all that just from a gut feeling. And so you say they're trying to take our jobs. It's like, yeah. And then you just go off of that energy. and that's a very dumb, simple example, but I know you have listeners who don't want this to be as serious as it's been for the last like 10 minutes.
Yeah, we got. I'm sorry. I get my.
I know.
I got you.
That's why I'm here. It's just a serving of volume. I'm trying to clean it up.
I go off on those rants too.
And so it's like that's even the primal thing. Like people who are that's why women generally are pro-choice, and it's men that make the laws that make it not so, because they're the ones whose bodies will be the one that goes through it. It's easy for a guy to be like, nah. But women are like, listen, I may even want an abortion, but I want the right to have one.
Gotcha.
And I want the right for my friends, my daughter, potentially my girlfriend, to be able to get one if she wants one. It's not even then, but the idea is, if you keep the law, the Roe v. Wade law, then people are just going to go out here and be throwing babies off balconies and stuff like frisbees. Babies are just dying every day. And it's not, and they don't deal with any.
Dude, I'm all fucking. If any part of the government that's telling you to do something with your body, I'm fucking anti that. So I'm so it's like. And by the way, when was the last time you guys went to Texas? If you go to Texas, I mean, I went to Austin. I played Austin twice this year. Austin, honestly, is one of the most progressive. I don't mean in politics. I mean progressive in technology. Like Austin, Texas just opened the very first Walmart with absolutely zero cashiers. It's all self-checkout. Like, they're very progressive. So my question is to all you people, to Texas, who is this progressive with technology, and yet you guys don't want to have abortions. Where are all these people going to work? You know?
Listen, I don't know if you were there for my joke, Augustino, but the Cowboys ain't won a championship in 25 years. So where do you get pro players? Single moms. There you go.
But when you bring up Texas, it makes me think of this. It's a state that very much is against any kind of mask or vaccine mandate, while at the same time passing a law that says we're going to make sure you don't get abortions.
It's
the hypocrisy of it. And Marvin, you know this now. You're listening as well. I'm very much be consistent in who you are. If you're a jerk, be a jerk. If you're selfish, be selfish. If you're, whatever. So if you just say, listen, man, I believe in the Bible wholeheartedly. The Bible says abortion is bad. I know it's hypothetical. I know it's hypocritical to say no to abortions and whatever mandates. I'm doing it. I don't want there to be abortions, so I want to control your body, but I don't want to have to wear a mask. Like, if that's your position and you just articulate, hey, I know this is hypocritical, but that's how I feel.
That's not what
then there's no argument there. It's like, well, listen, at least you're admitting hypocritical. It's the point where you're like, no, I'm righteous on this side, and then this is something else, when it really is the same thing.
Sometimes I think the powers that be that fucking run the world, I think they do things on purpose. I don't really think that, but I halfway do. But sometimes I think that, like, they do things on purpose to just make us much more divided. To do exactly things like that, like fucking, be so hypocritical with it.
You keep us divided. Someone like Mitch McConnell stays in office for as long as he stays in office, right? Like, I'm from Baltimore, right? And I'm from a city that has been a Democratic city for 30, 40 plus years. I mean, shit, maybe even longer than that, right? And I can look through and I can point out things that they've never fixed, right? The Democrats have never fixed these issues, right?
Yeah.
Then you can go to some place like Kansas and Kentucky that's a red, and pick a city there, and they can go through a list of things that have never been fixed, right? Yeah. So it's not about people in power actually wanting to help the people, their constituents. It's about people in power wanting to remain in power.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Fuck them both.
Yeah. So and I think that becomes the issue, right? Is like people in Peoria go, I'm this, and then people in Baltimore go, I'm this, and neither one of them are getting what they actually need done.
Dude, it's so true, man.
But they don't see it because they're so entrenched in how they feel. And
right, because
doing research,
and they work so hard at keeping us all so divided that they don't see it. It's like choosing a fucking sports team. You're like proud of that fucking I'm this. You're like fucking proud of it, like you were born into it or something.
But again,
how about them Cowboys?
Yeah, they want to keep you that way.
Right? It's sticking points. Like if I as long as I can bring up, like Chris said, for conservatives, if I can bring up the Bible Belt is the Bible Belt, and it will remain the Bible Belt. So as long as I can bring up, if I can, what we watched the Republicans do was tie Donald Trump, who never been to a church, to Jesus, and Jesus was like, "Don't put me and this nigga in the same sentence." But when they were able to tie Donald Trump to Jesus, it secured his Bible Belt vote.
Yeah.
First of all, Like, yo, it's upside down. I believe.
Is that your Bible?
Bible. The Bible
So-
is very good.
You know, the only thing that's in that book is he's like, Veronica is a 13. The next page. Tiffany, 18.
And here's why.
That's his Bible.
So yeah, I mean, it's a sad state of the union that we, as the people who actually have the power, because we live in a democracy where people don't actually understand we can affect laws literally by voting by the people for the people,
Mm-hmm.
right? But we don't get laws that are clear cut because they're earmarked, and so people can argue this point or that point about a law, or a bill, and keep it from being laws. Where it literally, I could propose a bill that says, "Hey, this is what we need for an infrastructure law," and it can hit the platform, and everyone and like, "Oh, you know what? Y'all won't vote for it. Fine, America. Here are the 4 points of this bill. No confusion." And we could vote on it and pass it, but we don't actually use our power because we get caught up in Jesus, freedom, welfare, food stamps, and whatever triggering race, that becomes the other thing, and race. And so we can't actually use what we have as a power by people, and that's why you get a CNN, and that's why you get a Fox that are successful, because their only job is to appeal to your baser selves.
Stoking the flames. That's what they're doing. They just want to. They want you to keep watching. And if you watch, like, I don't even watch the news anymore. But I remember MSNBC. They one of their biggest, and Bill Burr talked about this, where like they would say how anti-Trump they were, but they would make sure in every broadcast to spend at least half the time doing it, and their ratings went up tremendously over those 4 years, and they all were making a lot more money. And so it's like, we are saying this guy's bad, but we're giving him unlimited free press because that makes money. And so you're making it worse because you're contributing to the problem, but because your bottom line is affected by viewership, then you got to take care of
For sure, dude.
And so it's like, we could just not talk about it. Like, ESPN could not talk about the Cowboys. They could. Plenty of sports going on. We're almost in the baseball playoffs. We have the Giants and the Dodgers, two best teams in the same division. One's got to be in a one game playoff. One may not go past that one game after winning 98 games. Like, we can do that whole thing.
Yankees, Red Sox are playing right now. Like,
but that doesn't move the needle. Hearing some Cowboy delusional fan after 25 years of not winning talk about this is the year. During that time, the Broncos, who get no camera time, have won 3 Super Bowls. They get no camera time. Pittsburgh's won 2. Baltimore's won 2. Patriots have won 6 championships during that time. No camera press. The Cowboys have won 1 playoff game, and they're the leading story every time. It gets ratings. It just is what it is. And
there's no such thing as bad publicity, guys. Take that with you in your fucking comedy careers, and it's the truth. It's really the truth.
And just let your fans know I'm leaking my own sex tape in the next week.
It's called 30 and a half. It's but these are great in-depth. I don't mind having these conversations. You know what, guys? I get bits out of it. And it's not bits that you would normally get because you don't like to talk about stuff, but that's how you find edgier shit. And it may not even be about that particular subject, but it really does get your mind going for a point you want to make or something like that. But anyway, it's just fucking good talking to you guys. It definitely went longer than I wanted it to. But
a lot.
I was like, we'll talk for 30 minutes. It's like an hour and a half later. But that's all right. I wanted to have you guys on. I'm sorry I was a little to myself, quiet on the patio and shit, but going through some shit since my friend passed, and I was dealing with that and trying to, and everything. But thank you for having me on the show. I had a lot of fun.
This is your show.
No, I mean the other night. I'm talking to Chris.
Okay. This is your show.
No, when I did the comedy show on the Friday Funnies, it's the last Friday of every month in Tarzana. So thank you. I was telling Marvin, which is part of the reason I wanted to have you guys on the show, because I did a whole episode on it 2 weeks ago. But the episode's already too long now, so I'll just get it out briefly. What I was telling Marvin on the patio when you were on stage is I was saying that someone taught me early on in stand-up comedy, and I've definitely found it to ring true, and I've never found it to ring more true than right now. Is that someone said to me that there's really not any friendship in this business of stand-up comedy. You think you have friends, and you really don't. There's acquaintances, and then there's your family. Like, there's friends that are like, even comics that you'll consider like so tight that you're family. You know what I mean? You guys bond over stuff. It's just something that you can't be explained, and there's really no friendships. Like, don't be mistaken by acquaintances. And it doesn't mean you have to be a dick or that guy's not my friend, fuck that guy. It's just you learn things about people and you know where they really stand. Someone would sell you out in a second for a spot. You just really learn who's who, and then you just know the difference. There's acquaintances and then there's family. So I was saying I want to have you two dudes on because you dudes have always been tight with each other, and I met Marvin first, and then I met you, Chris, and it's been like, I don't know how many years since I've known the both of you, but you guys are tight. You guys look out for each other, help each other out with each other's shows, write together, and I want to let you know that it's a special thing, and it's rare. And you guys got your little fucking rating score you bond over, whatever the fuck.
Listen,
but
don't try to marginalize it. This is actually some profound stuff.
Yeah,
really
But dude, I have some people in my life. I'm still very fortunate that I have them. I did just lose someone that was in my tight circle of family, and it's very rare. It's very rare. So there's acquaintances and there's friends, and you two are good dudes, and I'm happy to know the both of you. I consider you both in the top circle of fucking people I would trust in this comedy career, which is rare. And whenever we work together or our paths cross, it's always great, guys. So that's why I wanted to have you on. But we had a lot of fun anyway. Besides that,
really good time, man. Taught you to listen to some stuff.
I'm gonna start texting you guys randomly and be like, "Yo, I just saw a 19." I'm gonna.
But I'm telling you, this is, and Marvin knows this. When you tell this to other people, it changes how they view the world in a lot of ways, because it makes so much sense.
It does make so much sense.
I've seen guys go over the moon for someone who's like a 16.
It's so funny to say out loud.
What are we doing right now? What are we doing? And then when they realize, wait a minute, this is a 16.
It's true. It's true.
They come with the proper arrogance to talk to them. And then it's like, it just levels the playing field. I think I had an old bit I don't even do anymore, where I think a lot of women who were like 6s or 7s were getting 10 energy. So they started thinking they were 10s.
Mm-hmm.
And so it messed up the pool of dating, because every person from 6 and up thought they were 10. So you have people who were making minimum wage talking about, I want a guy to give me his black card to go shopping. I'm like, you make $8 an hour. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And so now it's like the scales. This just brings the scales back.
I got you, bro. I feel you. Don't be surprised, dude. I'm gonna be fucking hitting you guys up and be like,
I'm here for it.
Yo, I saw fucking 18 and a half today, and he works out. Just kidding.
That's a strong number. Yeah.
That was a pretty man. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, that dude was fire. Chris, what's your Instagram?
It's at Chris Kane Productions.
Chris Kane Productions.
Yeah, ChrisKane Productions, as Productions is spelled.
Marvin.
Chris Kane Productions.
Easy. It's at Marvin Telp. Telp, Telp. Need help? Get Telp. Marvin at Marvin Telp.
At Marvin Telp. So the last Friday of every month in Tarzana, he does a great show. You can find it at Chris Kane Productions on Instagram. I'm sure he'll post it there and stuff like that. And you guys got any other shows coming up?
We don't have not a show coming up, but I do have another plug.
Okay.
And this is for all your nerds that are listening right now. For those who listen, who do anime, Marvel, SpongeBob, and any other level of nerdom. We actually have a podcast, which is called The Coolest Nerd You Ever Met. And we also live Twitch stream it every week also.
So, dope. Well, I'd love to come on sometime. I wouldn't consider myself the biggest nerd in all those fields, but I'll be glad to talk some fucking Nolan trilogy with you guys, or any of that stuff. I mean, it's
Here
that
for it.
stuff, or some
Definitely.
fucking Zack Snyder cut shit, whatever you.
We
do
do
something.
need to do a Nolan trilogy joint too. So I think that
Let's do it.
Say less. Yeah, we'll make that happen.
I'm down, dude. Everybody listening, don't forget to get tickets to see me in Lincoln, Nebraska. One show only, one opportunity. It's not every day I go to Lincoln, guys, so it'd be great to see you guys come out. I'm not even trying to insult you where you live. I've had people from Lincoln contact me and go like, I'm really glad you're coming, but why are you coming here? Listen, man, I'm going to Lincoln. I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. On the 8th, I got a show. On the 9th, I'm going to a Huskers game. I'm going to have a good weekend. So come on out, everybody. You can get tickets at homesschooledpod.com. Click on tour. If you already show up wearing a t-shirt, that's awesome. Support the tour. Only Love Can Save the World tour. And you can pick up a t-shirt on homesschooledpod.com. Click on merch. I want to give a big thank you to Chris Kane and Marvin Telp for being here today and sharing some knowledge, dropping some knowledge in more ways than one on this episode today. And make sure you guys follow them, support them. Two good dudes, two funny comics, and that's it. You guys, thank you so much for being here, and have a great week.
Dude, thank you.
Thank you.
Please take your seats. School is now in session.
Welcome to Homeschooled Podcast. Homeschool.
The Homeschool Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
It's time to document the journey.